Andy Olson at Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis, now joined by a member of the secondary, a pretty good secondary last year, Sydney Brown, the defensive back. Sydney, first of all, thanks for taking the time and talking with me here.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course, man.
Appreciate it.
Let's start with some turnover in the secondary this year. You guys had a lot of turnovers or forced a lot of turnovers last year. How do you, as one of the leaders in that secondary, take that upon yourself as you're going into 2022?
Well, it's something we preach. It's something that we work on each and every day in the off season, and it's got to be our mentality going into game day, going into practice, anything, right? So, I can do my part to preach it to the guys, but it's got to become a culture, and that's what we take in pride here.
Who are some of the younger guys that you're starting to see develop this year? Because you're trying to replace Kirby, you're trying to replace Tony. Who are some guys that fans should keep an eye on in the secondary?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the entire room and be excited. I'd say guys that are really emerging are guys like Taz Nicholson. Kendall Smith is filling a big role, an older guy. Prince Green. Some of the new freshmen coming in. It's just there's a lot of talent in the room, and I'm looking forward to see who's going to fill that role. Honestly.
Now, year two under Ryan Walters. He's a defensive back guy himself, so I'm sure you guys have been able to connect like that. He had a really good first year in Champaign. Are you seeing maybe some progression, some differences going into year two with him?
Yeah, so I'd say it's easy to look too far ahead, you know what I mean? So we're focused on playing week one right now and just being better in week 12 than we were in week one. I've been preaching that all day. But I think it's also easy to get caught up in, looking at last year and comparing us and say we're going to get better. But, again, we just got to worry about this year and the season ahead of us and what we can do to improve, obviously.
Yeah, and what about the guys ahead of you? We talked about the secondary because you're part of the secondary, but what about that front eight? There are some new faces in there, some guys stepping into bigger roles. What have you seen from behind them and how that defense is going to look in front of you?
From the bigger guys?
Yeah, the bigger guys.
Yeah. I mean, they set the tone. They set the front. I don't like to speak for other guys, but I'm going to let their work and preparation talk for them when the season starts.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about maybe some of your origins and your brother's origin here at the University of Illinois. I asked him if he remembers some of the recruiting pitches from yourself when he was leaving Western Michigan. Do you remember maybe some of your recruiting pitches to him?
Yeah, so the pitch was easy. It's okay. It's like, Chase, you get to come play with me. You get to come play with me. That was the pitch, but the opportunity to come obviously play with me and then be in the Big Ten and be at the great school like the University of Illinois, I think that all played a role.
Clearly, it worked out in the end. For you as his twin brother, what has been your perspective like? I mean, you play on the other side of the ball, but he's doing his thing at running back. And what has been your perspective and your thoughts on how he's done in the backfield?
I mean, it's fun watching the guy. It's great to take those moments and see what he does on the field because the guy works his tail off to see the results that he does. But it pushes me. It pushes me to do my thing. It pushes him to do his thing. So that's kind of been our relationship growing up. One guy pushing the other, the other, no matter what it is. If it's to school, if it's to on the field, if it's whatever, you know what I mean? So the push-push relationship between the two of us really drives us.
Yeah, and I asked him this, and you could probably guess what his answer was, but between the two of you, who has the best hair?
Me. You kidding?
Why is that?
Okay. Let's just start. I mean, you see the bun, long. It's not cut. He decided to cut his hair with, what was that?
I don't know.
You guys, I'm sure Champaign was surprised a little bit about that, but I mean, the answer is easy. It's me, and there's enough said.
I've heard you ask this before, and I do want to hear your answer again. What's the difference between hair up Sydney, like you have it right now, and hair down Sydney on day games or game days?
Oh my God. The Nate, like when the hair's down, it's just, I don't know. I'm a little more aggressive, I'd say.
Okay.
A little more aggressive. It's just like it's my thing on the field. So I play with my hair down. It's the aggressiveness, whatever it is for me.
Oh, the fans like it, no matter what, the aggressiveness.
Sure.
We'll end with you here, just talking about Bret Bielema, himself in year two as well in Champaign. How have you seen the team grow from maybe last year, his first year in charge, and now the surroundings are a little bit more familiar for him and his staff? You guys are used to each other, and just where the team is at compared to last year.
Yeah, for sure. We've made some big jumps throughout the spring and in the winter with winter conditioning and then summer conditioning. But again, like I said, we're just focused on week one, what we can do in week one, and we just got to be a better team in week 12 than we were in week one.
All right. Awesome,
Thanks,
Sydney. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Good luck this year.
Thanks.